Really?
Mikasa Sukasa. You Eddie, right?
Yeah.
Look like Eddie Guerrero, man. You like to watch wrestling?
Yep.
Have you ever watched wrestling? On weed? That's the way to see it, man! It's what? Woo!
To be the man, you gotta beat the man, and I'm saying, woo, right here, I'm the man. Woo!
Tune in to the Blunt Ratings right after tonight's review joint.
If you can't say something entertaining, then shut the hell up.
Wrestling on Wii. 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 Wrestling on
Monday. Hey, Super High ain't here, so it's gonna be your boy, Mr. HD. We're waiting on Super High to come in. He'll be here in 1 second, but I do want to come in real quick because just in case y'all didn't know, it's my motherfucking birthday. So I'm gonna get lit today. Yeah, it's my motherfucking 41st birthday. So my old ass, you can see the grays popping in, you know what I mean? I'll be dying that later. Don't worry about that. You know what I mean? So
all right, Hulk Hogan.
Hey man, we gotta do what we gotta do. You know what I mean? Look good on camera. So, I appreciate everybody. The gang is already back. I appreciate y'all. Nigel B. I see Camilla in here. What's going on, Casper? Appreciate everybody in here. Nigel was cracking my G. Man, it feels good to be back. The all-new, brand-new Wrestling on Weed. Super High Travis Sly will be joining us soon. He will be normally in this Thursday slot alongside Physics. Me and Two-Face will be doing Tuesdays and Saturdays. The whole gang will be here this Saturday for predictions because we got a pay-per-view to predict and a belt to fight for as always. Man, it's about to be so much fun. The whole show is going to look different. Obviously, the intro's different. The overlays are different. Everything's different. It's going to be the same energy, same fun show as always. I am super high Travis Slot. No, I'm not. Like I said, I'm just Mr. HD filling in. You know what I mean? It's my birthday. I wasn't planning on being here that long, but I had to be here for you guys. When I was like trying to figure out what day we was going to come back, it was almost going to be Saturday, but I didn't want to just come back and just throw, we got the review and the predictions and so much stuff was happening. I was just like, I'm going to come back. Man, it's perfect. I spend my birthday with you guys. Like I said, like who else I want to spend my birthday with other than people I spend 3-4 days out the week with a couple hours a day. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I had to come celebrate the B-Day with you guys. You know what I mean? Glad the homie Physics here. Two-Face checked in earlier. We're still tweaking the show a little bit, trying to get some technical things all together with the new overlays. There's no alerts right now and different things like that, so we're getting all that stuff set up. I'm a one-man show over here on this side trying to do all this stuff, so I'm trying to get everything situated, but we got enough to get the show done today. So Physics, we have an amazing, first of all, how you been, brother? It's been like a week and a half since I talked to you. You good? Everything good?
Doing good. Got back from Mississippi, seeing the family and everything, so no complaints. Been having a good time, so enjoying myself, living life.
Everybody down south, I know you got a lot of southern family. Everybody good right now? Because, you know, that hurricane is ugly, you know what I mean?
Yeah, everybody's good. They in central Mississippi, so a hurricane didn't really touch them. The only thing they got to worry about is just the virus and everything, but they staying safe, so don't have to worry about that. Good.
That's good to hear. Glad everybody's healthy and safe. We have a classic episode of Dynamite. I can't wait to talk about the news later. If you don't know, the news will be following the review shows from now on, so we'll be doing a 4-minute and 20-second intermission. See what we did there before we transition over to the news directly after the review, joining Blunt Ratings. So one stream a day for you guys. You guys don't have to check in twice, just once at 4:20 and 2 o'clock on Saturday. So appreciate you guys checking in with the homies. So Physics, you ready to talk about this awesome episode of Dynamite last night? Because AEW has been on a fucking roll. But,
I mean, I guess they have, but
come on, man. Hey, man, you can't shade AEW right now, bro. Like, they are changing the wrestling game, bro.
I can do what I want to do.
They are WCW 1997, my nigga. We can't.
Oh, yeah. And then next year is 98, and then we get to 99, and then
I was like, no.
WWE is big again, and we're like, what happened?
No. No Ted Turner.
Tony's and Ted's. Anyways, they started the night off with a bang. Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, versus Kenny Omega for that AEW belt. And I'll be honest, I knew something was up as soon as they were the first match.
Of course.
Because I was like, you do not have a match this big in magnitude to just, start the night off, because who's going to follow that? And let's be honest, nobody followed it, because it's AEW's best singles match they've had that's been on pay-per-view. That's just in period. It's their best match they've ever had.
It's the best singles match they've had in that company since it's been on. I'm sorry, it is.
No, it is. I mean, the best things they've had have all been really tag team stuff. I was about to say, there's 2 or 3 tag matches that could be up there. And the Young Bucks are involved in all of them.
Young Bucks and Lucha Brothers. It's all.
So, but I mean, this was a banger. We got 30 minutes of great wrestling. We got to see both men soaking the crowd for a long moment before they square up. Of course, they went to collar and elbow into the ropes. Omega breaks with breaks dirty with a chop, and of course, they went hard, as most of Bryan Danielson said is he wanted to go to AEW because WWE just was too safe for him, and there was nothing safe about anything he was doing last night. we had Excalibur saying that New York is AEW country, and I was like, whoa, pump your brakes there.
Disrespectful.
Pump your brakes there. I wanted to be like, until you get an MSG, we'll have that talk.
Yeah,
but I mean, you're
was
doing
like,
big
damn,
things.
That's disrespectful.
But we get some back and forth with Daniel working on the arm, corner drop kick, Omega on the back foot, chest kick in the corner, up top, avalanche, Frankensteiner, whip to the corner, ducking and dodging. Kenny snaps off of Frankensteiner and Brian rolls into the floor, Meg off the ropes, Tobe Kongiro back inside, Kotaro Crusher denied, traded pins, and we get a cattle mutilation and a crowd.
It was beautiful. I haven't seen it so long. It was beautiful. I was like, yes.
You would have thought it was a Ring of Honor crowd, but Omega got to the ropes. Kenny runs to the safety of the ramp, dragging with a springboard knee, calling his shot from the top of the ramp. Brian closes in and fires off chest kicks, dragon suplex on the ramp. The ref checks to see if Brian's okay. Of course, Brian is flopping on the floor like a dead fish because when it comes to him doing his
I was like, he's selling the shit out of that joint right now.
Yeah, but then you get moments where you're like, I don't know if he's selling. Maybe he's actually hurt.
Exactly. And that's why it's good, because I was like, wait a minute, is he? I'm not sure.
It's good, but it also takes you out the match because everybody cares about Bryan Danielson so much that is like, we want you to wrestle as hard as you want to, but we don't want you to die in the ring.
People are also very scared watching him wrestle, especially doing a bunch of neck stuff, which is basically all AEW does.
Yeah. So, like, I'm okay if he's like a special attraction wrestling. Like, they've already kind of stated that's what he's going to be, and I'm okay with that. I don't need to see him every week.
But there's so many special attractions he could be in. Like, every match is a special attraction. There's so many.
I want his brain and neck to be okay.
Same here. I agree.
We get a V trigger into the ropes, and of course we go to a commercial break. Picture in picture. This is around. But
wait a minute. What kind of timed commercial break was that? Like, after that monstrous V trigger, he almost sent them out of the ring. They just, we'll be right back. I'm like, wait a minute, is he dead? Is he? What's happening?
I think this should have been one of the times. I mean, you're spending all the money to be in New York and be there for 4 hours. So why not just be like, all right, we got the money. If we're gonna have advertisement, we'll just do it while it's going on. Because they did a huge advertisement for Rampage in the middle of this match. That they stopped calling things for like 2 minutes. So I was like, you could have just done the same exact thing to just not go to commercial and just have the first 30 minutes or 35 minutes of Dynamite commercial free and just went from there.
Yeah.
But,
you're right. That's exactly what should have happened. That's facts.
Mega drags Danielson to the ring, hosts him up, powerbomb into the ropes, back inside for a cover. No 1, 2, 3. Dragon reverse a dragon suplex attempt into a pin for a 2. Then eats a kick to the back that sends him crashing into the turnbuckles. Up top, jogging for position. Then it was a back superplex off the top rope. We have 5 minutes left. Both men down. Ref is counting. We have Daniel. I gotta stop calling Daniel Bryan. Brian Danielson.
I know. I did the same thing. I got it the same here.
Wrapping his arm as if his arm has gone numb and he's not using it for the first for the next 2 minutes. Kenny catches one and starts throwing jabs. Brian returns left-hand jabs, roundhouse, but he runs into a V-trigger. Danielson counters a follow-up with a rolling elbow. Regalplex follows, only a 2 count. Brian stumbling back into the corner, trying to figure out how to take Omega out. He goes up top, but Kenny cuts him off. Jockeying for position, Omega with headbutts, overhead elbows, dragon suplex, cannot keep the American. Dragging down after he attacks him off the top rope. Brian in the ropes, Kenny calling the shot. V-trigger, nope, electric chair. Daniel reverses to a poison Frankensteiner. Sidestep another V-trigger, buzzsaw roundhouse kick, takes Omega's head off. We got him being fired up. Knee counter into a power bomb. V-trigger connects, but Brian kicks out. Mega goes up top. Danielson moves from the dragon splash. Dragon chest marks has his mark. His chest is all marked up. Forehead bruise. Everything is looking bad. Of course, they have a slugfest. Kenny gets knocked down to the ground. Of course, he says you're gonna get your fucking head kicked in. Kick to the head. Apply with 1 minute remaining, but Omega gets to the ropes. Warner running corner drop kick takes Kenny's head off again, but he fires off a V-trigger. Ripcord elbow for another V-trigger. As the clock ticks, trading headbutts. punches on the knees to the feet, kicks, chops, and then the bell. It is a
when
draw.
it was like a minute left, you knew it was going to
minutes.
be a draw. Yeah. It was
30 minutes.
I stood up
it's
and gave
draw.
them a standing ovation in my office. That's what I did. That's I didn't know what else to do. I was like, I don't know how to react to something like that. I just watched art in motion. That's what it felt like watching two people painting a beautiful picture in front of me with their wrestling movesets. That's what it felt like. It was masterful. To say the least. We got the homie Super High Travis Sly in here. This is his show, so I'm going to let him slide on up in here. Then I'll slide up on in when we do the news right after. So I appreciate all you guys. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Super High, you ready to come on up in here, brother? Pause. That sounded slightly inappropriate. You know what I mean? I don't know why it just did. I'm just... Oh shit, I'm fucking up shit. Sorry guys. Technical difficulties. Let me get some stuff right here. Hold on. Wait a minute. Boom. There he is. What's going on, brother? How you doing over there, man?
I'm good, bro.
Good.
Happy birthday once again.
Thank you. I appreciate you, good man. I appreciate you.
Fizz,
Birthdays are blessings. My wife and my son definitely made this one of the best ones ever. They dressed up like me when I went to the first ever AEW show. So they my girl put on the outfit I had and made an AEW sign out of a towel, even though I have the same sign here. I don't know why she ain't just asked me for it. But yeah. They definitely made this one of the best birthdays ever. So I'll see you guys when the news pops
Fizz,
off.
You
enjoy the rest of the show. You guys continue on.
Or were you about to say, Trav?
Yes.
So what you think about the
Fizz,
first
you
match
gonna
of the
quit
night?
the
Kenny Omega versus
AEW
Bryan
disrespect
Danielson.
while I'm here. Oh, it's a it's an instant classic, fam. Like, yo, it's an instant classic.
I feel like they're
We
they
good?
did what they had to do. They couldn't push it any longer as far as like it's hard to just get the belt off Kenny at the moment. You kind of have to wait for a hot minute, and really you got to do it at a pay-per-view. I get how big New York was last night, but it just wasn't a time. So they kind of pushed up the Okada versus Kenny into the first match because I feel like they're going to have 3 matches. I feel the next time we see Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson's going to win, and I wouldn't be surprised Kenny Omega gets the belt back. And then they can finally do the whole Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page thing. But I feel like this is probably going to go on for probably the next 6 months since we already got the Young Bucks being involved due to what happened after the match of them the super kick to Bryan Danielson. So I feel like this is going to go for a hot minute. Say next match is probably going to be AEW Full Gear, and we go from there. But it's going to be fun seeing where Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega go from here because they knocked it out in their first try. And I mean, it puts Kenny on that boat of, being one of the best wrestlers. When it comes to being the overall best wrestler, is like having those matches and having the mic skills. His mic skills are subpar. His character is boring at times, but you can't deny how great that man is in the ring. When it's time to, he's like Kawhi Leonard as far as when it comes to like he's efficient. He knows what he's doing in the ring, but you're not gonna get any great quips at the end of the night. But you're going to enjoy everything you see in the ring.
Yeah, bro. This shit was amazing, bro. Like just even little shit like when Daniel Bryan did the fucking the 5 count to the ref, that and like the people in the crowd reacted to it, like it's like this is the type of crowd that Bryan Danielson needs to be around, bro, because this is the hardcore wrestling fan that misses the Bryan Danielson of old, bro. And Kenny Omega, like everything you just said about Kenny Omega is definitely correct. Like, but that V trigger from off the rip, bro. I jumped out my seat when he did that shit and flipped over the rope, bro. Oh my god, I can't wait till the second match. I hope it's an Iron Man match. I can't wait to see how they build it, and it's gonna be amazing.
No, that's gonna be the third match. Third match is gonna be a 60-minute match.
Oh my
That's
god.
probably gonna be
Okay.
at,
I'm sorry. I don't mean to
that's
interrupt.
that Double or Nothing.
I have to see that now. I don't. Oh wait. Okay. Yeah, they have to do that, right? They did 30 minutes. They got to do an Iron Man match. Okay, I'm out.
Yeah, because you got to
I have
remember,
to do
even
it, bro.
with Kenny and versus Okada, when they did their draw, that was 60 minutes. That was a 60-minute draw.
Right.
So a 60-minute Iron Man match is in the making. I feel like that would be 3. I think number 2 will probably be damn near a street fight, but probably just a regular match, just with tables and everything involved. Because if you notice, they didn't use anything outside. So I'm gonna guarantee there's gonna be tables and chairs involved for the next match, and then for the rubber match, a 60-minute
Yeah.
Iron Man match will probably be next.
Yeah. This is gonna be great. Then I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how Hangman come back into the picture.
It's probably, I wouldn't be surprised if it's after March when we see Hangman again. Things are going to be a while. Like I said, this is going to go for a few months, especially involving the Young Bucks and everything. So, I mean, I would say he'll probably come back for Full Gear and then start making his way up the rankings again for Kenny, but it's going to be a while before we see it again. So they just delayed it another year or so of Hangman Page versus Kenny Omega. But long-term booking, people. Long-term booking. Unless Bray Wyatt comes in and messes everything. We'll see. But the next thing up was CM Punk. He did a promo. Trav, what did you think of the CM Punk promo?
I thought it was great. You know, what he told you on how everybody's talk about him, like this being the swan song for him or whatever, and like people was tired
Too
of
happy.
seeing him happy, even though he's legit happy. Yeah, he's too happy, but he just want people to know that he's still here for to get it popping, pretty much. And he was like, listen, at the end of the day, Will Hobbs, you can say what you want, but I'm here to tuck your ass in on Friday night on Red Page. Will Hobbs goes to sleep. I thought it was a great promo. What you thought?
I thought it was decent. Enjoyed it. Nothing too crazy. Got straight to the point. I mean, it's exactly what you need after a match like that. Just something very clean, straight. Of course, the fans going crazy because it is CM Punk, so they get to see him. So hey, I'm not mad at that. It is weird though, because they're talking about Friday and they technically recorded it, all of that like 2 hours later. And it just, it's pre-recorded.
But
it's so weird.
They gotta do what they gotta do.
I understand.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm looking forward to it, and it's one of those things where it makes me like, only in wrestling where somebody like CM Punk can actually be intimidating towards somebody like Powerhouse Hobbs. Because in real life, we would not pay this any mind because we'd be like, nah, Powerhouse Hobbs would just whoop this man's ass. But it's going to be quite interesting to see how they are in the ring, because unlike Darby Allin, as much as I do like Hobbs, he still is very green. And for some reason, I don't know why, but in my mind, I just got like Ryback flashbacks for some reason of CM Punk being in the ring with somebody that's not all the way there. So hopefully he doesn't have to worry about that or something goes wrong, because he's going back to the trunks for Friday. So CM Punk trunks are back. But it's going to be quite interesting to see how that match goes, because seeing the match with the other two, I can kind of figure out how that's going to go. But with Power Hobbs, is going to be more interesting to see due to the different physiques and their different style of wrestling.
Well, yeah, CM Punk, Hobbs is one of the people who he mentioned that he wanted to face on Twitter back in the day. So I feel like he knows that Hobbs a little green, and he's gonna try to get him carry him through this match with his his veteran techniques or whatever, and he's gonna lead him through the match because he genuinely likes Hobbs, so he's gonna try to get him over, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. Next match we had was Brian Pillman Jr. versus MJF. And I mean, this match went about as how you think it was gonna go. MJF doing MJF things and MJF winning via submission with the salt of the earth. The only thing I can say about this match is Brian Pillman Jr. just isn't it. To me, he's just enhancement talent. I don't see anywhere where he can go other than where he is for other wrestlers to beat him. But yeah, man, he there's just nothing there for me when I see him wrestling.
I respect. He only been wrestling for 4 years, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's still trying to find himself in the ring. And
yeah, but
to
me,
you know what I'm saying? They put
thing.
him and MJF together because they kind of got a little chemistry from MLW or whatever.
Yeah, to me, it's not even a wrestling thing. It's mostly just the look. You can tell when wrestlers have that it factor, even if they're not they're going to be the top people, like Cesaro. He's somebody that can be in the middle scene, be in the lower card, or you could put him in the main event. You can just put him in these different places. For anytime I see Brian Pillman Jr., he just doesn't have that factor unless he can get really good on the mic, like his dad. But he doesn't have the it factor, like the looks. Just like you said, the wrestling will come as he wrestles longer and longer. And that might be the saving grace later down the line. But just, seeing him, he's just okay. And it's like Camille says, give him time. I'm not even talking about the wrestling. I'm just talking about when you see somebody, you go, they have it. Because we've been looking at, I can't remember his name, dude from NXT, Steiner's son. Because they didn't want to give him the Steiner name. Braun Breaker?
Fucking Braun Breaker?
Yeah.
Braun Breaker, you miss?
He has it. We don't, just him and the way he is, he has it already. And he hasn't been wrestling long. Maybe a year on his end. Yes, it's in his genes, but it's also in Brian Pillman Jr.'s genes. But you look at him, you hear him speak, and you're like, he has it.
I mean, yeah.
Those two, the two brothers that are now part of Diamond Mine, they have it. Just the way they wrestle just has it. I don't know if they can talk, but the way they wrestle lets me know they have it. I'm just saying, when it comes to Brian Pillman Jr., just looking at him, I don't have it. When I see him in the ring with anybody, I don't see him win, especially somebody particular like MJF.
Nah, I respect that opinion, but I just want to point out that MJF's parents was in the crowd with a sign that said MJF is our son and we don't like him either. And then MJF on Twitter, he said, "Fuck off, mom."
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What? Wait a minute. This is news to me. Wait a minute. Time out. I'm sorry. Stop the show. His mom was in the crowd with a sign that said, MJF is our son and we don't like him either.
Yeah.
First of all, shout out to mom because that's hilarious. Obviously, MJF was in on it. This is a hilarious gag. But then for him to get on Twitter later and be like, fuck off, mom, they clearly have one of those relationships. She's probably benefiting very much from him being rich. So I don't.
Yeah.
That's dope though. That's awesome. I had no clue. Sorry.
Getting all the Burberry that she wants. But next up, we have Chris Jericho and Jake Hager being interviewed backstage. Jake Hager calls the men of the year the boys of the week and say they're about to be spanked because they follow a fat-faced dipshit. Jericho says they made a mistake challenging the Inner Circle in New York City because Big Hoss and Le Champion are the hardest hitting team in AEW. If Dan Lambert sticks his nose in their business again, he's going to bite his nose off like Haku in Japan and spit it into the crowd. As far as American Top Team goes, they're ready to snack on some MMA meatheads and to bring it on. What do you think about the promo from Jericho and Jake?
Jake Hager, he made me laugh with that Boys of the Week shit. It was corny, but I enjoy corny shit sometimes. But do you think Jake Hager is gonna join the MMA niggas, or he's not turning on? He wouldn't turn on Jericho.
I mean, it would
right?
make sense. They got to do something with Inner Circle. They don't even seem like a crew anymore.
It definitely do.
They're all doing separate things. So I mean, you might as well just
Yeah,
start dissolving
I'll
them
get
now.
into that later.
So yeah, I think it would be a smart decision.
And you know,
Actually, no, because if they
like
do this, they won't be too far from
so.
like all the MMA guys in like Diamond Mine, and then all the MMA guys and
like Diamond Mine.
Yeah. But we'll see. I wouldn't mind it though. Like, you know, there's always parity between both big companies at the same time. It's just what happens. Deep Impact and Armageddon coming out at the same time. It's just the same thing. So nothing you can do about it. But next next up we had Darby Allin and Sting versus FTR. Hey, Sting did his thing. They were going hard at it. Darby Allin's coffin drop, that look, I would have hated to take that off the not just him, but just being able to like catch him, because Homeboy had already had an accident a few weeks ago being dropped, and now he had this happen. So hey, it was good. My only issue with I really enjoyed this match. I would say this is my it goes between 2 and 3 of my favorite match of the night. I just don't know what the hell's going on with FTR. They won the championships. They were the champs for 63 days. Young Bucks beat them 320 days later. I have no idea what's going on with them. Them losing makes them fall 5th in the tag team rankings. So they're under Private Party and Gun Club, Jurassic Express, and of course the Young Bucks are the main contenders still. So I don't know what's going on with FTR. It kind of felt like all of the talk between, of course, the Young Bucks and FTR about who's the best in the world. And once the Young Bucks beat him, it was like, all right, we're kind of done with you. We'll handle the best tag team in the world thing, and y'all just not do anything for a while. So, I mean, there was no way they were going to beat Darby. I mean, I think it would have been bigger on them to beat Darby Allin and Sting, but I mean, the crowd was hot last night all over, and I don't know. They probably would have erupted crazy if they lost. So the fact that Sting and Darby only won, I feel like it was the right call. I just have no idea what's going on with FTR and AEW.
FTR back the champions eventually. It's just, you know, they got so many tag teams in AEW, bro. They'll have their time again. Like, even if they was to like get like another championship run, like right now, people will be like, oh, but it's like newer tag teams that need to be getting the shot. So it is, you know what I'm saying? It's either you can't be right or wrong with this shit, because it's kind of crazy, but it's somebody else's time to get it, like with the Lucha Bros, and they'll face them eventually. I don't know if FTR is going to be the one to take it from them, but FTR, they'll get it back eventually. They just right now they need to figure out something else. But they did look excited to be fighting against Sting, though. I will say that. Who you think they argued over who's going to take the sharpshooter?
I'm pretty sure they did. Because I mean, they are marks for that stuff. Like, you know, I'm not mad at it. I mean, you're going against your idols. You know, you've been watching them since you were a kid, and now you finally get to wrestle them. So, like, hey, I'm pretty sure they did. They probably rock, paper, scissors in the back. Rock, paper, scissors, no flips. So it's going to be quite interesting. Right. And it's going to be interesting, like you said, because I thought about that, and they did have their match against Luchas was when they did have a match was not good. So hopefully they can rectify themselves, because it always seems like FTR has a lot more trouble. Like, the Young Bucks are super versatile. They can wrestle any type of style. But they still bring it back to what Young Bucks do. FTR, when it comes to very, you know, choreographed luchador wrestlers, they always kind of have like a little bit of an issue. But it's gonna be quite interesting to see, like you say, when that happens. But like I said, this was my third favorite match in the night. I really enjoyed it, and I mean, that just gets us right to the main event, which is Dr. Britt Baker, the champion, DMD versus Ruby Soho. And hey, the match was a banger. Um, like the only no, I forgot about somebody. My bad. I forgot about Cody Rhodes versus Malachi Black. Forgot all about that match. Came because it happened before Darby
Oh my
Allin and
God.
Sting. Yeah. Shout out to Malachi Black. He was the only black wrestler on last night's show. But I enjoyed it. There were some weird spots in that match. Like, the Brandy Rose spot was good as. Oh, I can't hear you, Layla. What'd you just say?
He said he was the only black wrestler on last night's show.
Am I wrong?
You're not.
Am I wrong?
It's so sad. When I was doing the intros, I was like, man, I'm putting where Jade Cargill at. Let me make sure I get some people up here. Ain't got no black wrestlers on the roster. Where everybody? No. That's a good point, though. I ain't even noticed that. It's so true. Wow. They'll get that fixed, hopefully.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. We'll see.
But I mean, Homelander, he came out. The crowd booed him. Cody Rhodes was getting booed the whole time. Malachi Black, like I was saying with the Brandy Rose spot, it makes good for a meme, but I have no idea. There was no reason for it. The weird falling of Arn Anderson, like he fell before he got to his spot.
He was out of position, or was he? I don't know if he was out of position.
He fell, and then everybody was like, "Oh," because he wasn't supposed to. He was supposed to get in position, and you saw he was trying to go across
around
and
the ring
fell,
post,
and then he got back up, and then he got in position. So that whole moment was
this
weird.
match was so overbooked. This was the typical Cody Rhodes match. It was a bunch of bullshit. Why did she get in the roll in the ring and give him the double birds? Like, fuck, she literally said "fuck you," like verbalized it. The camera zoomed in on her mouth and everything.
If he would have kicked her, I would have been like, boom, storyline right there. He just assaulted her, so now Cody Rhodes is gonna go off. Like, you would have had something there. It was just such a weird moment. Like I said, it makes good for a meme. Like, when you see the GIF pop up on Twitter, it looks cool, but in the aspects of the match, it looks out of place. It just happens.
Out of place as hell. Yeah. It was like, would she
like
really
you said,
do that and risk her face? Like, it's like, he kicks people's heads off, right? Why would you?
Yeah, but like you said, when it comes to Cody Rhodes, I mean, that man, he just overbooks everything, and he wants to be the good guy, even though, I mean, he wasn't the good guy according to the crowd. He was the heel in the match, and every time he got his head kicked off, they cheered and they were very happy about it. But I mean, it was an okay match. Like I said, I totally forgot about the match. I just skipped over it because it was a non-factor. But let's get back to Dr. Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho. And since you're here, Laylo, what was your thoughts on this match?
I loved it. I thought Soho got the perfect amount of offense. I thought that she looked great during the match. I thought the end of the match was perfect because Britt Baker's not about to lose, and Ruby Soho can't, take a L in her first match back. So I thought that it was the perfect match. Britt Baker's Britt Baker. None of her matches are like super athletic. I like the fact that Ruby Soho climbed to the top rope and did a crossbody to the outside on the two goons. I thought that was cool because I don't remember seeing her do a lot of top rope maneuvers in WWE.
She did in NXT.
Okay, in NXT, yeah, you know they always tone people down when they get to the main roster. You know how that go, but yeah, it's good to see her be able to bust stuff like that out again. I thought it was a good main event. I thought the crowd was hot. The crowd was Ruby
Crowd was hot the
Soho
whole night.
DMD. Yeah, the crowd was crazy,
Yeah.
bro. New York crowd, man, crazy.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'll just already say on my end, the crowd automatically gets they get the 5 for the night before we even get there.
You already know that. Yeah. It's been like that for the last few weeks. Yeah.
But no, I enjoyed the match. Really good. Like I said, this is it is my number 2 match. It's the best way you could have ended the night. In all honesty,
Facts.
I probably wouldn't have seen the draw coming if they switched them. Because usually that's probably what would have happened. This the match that main evented would have been the first match, and of course Bryan Danielson and Omega would have been the main event. But hey, they knocked it out the park. It was a good way to end the night. She stands tall, but there was cheating involved, so Ruby Soho can easily come back for her championship. And I mean, when it comes to the women's division, if the championship is not on the line, there's really nothing else going on unless you do watch AEW Dark, and that's only like 2 of us in this whole crew that actually do. So we have no idea what's going on, which is unfortunate because that's a lot of wrestling fans. Like, if you don't watch what's on YouTube, you just don't know what's going on.
I think that might be changing soon though, because they announced something that was happening on that show. I can't remember exactly what. Maybe somebody could refresh my memory, but something big is going to be happening on Dark soon. I'm sure Super High knows what it is. He'll be back in here in a second.
Well, it's not big enough for you to remember, but you remember Brian.
Yeah, I mean,
Kenny Omega. So
of
there
course.
we go.
Touche.
I'm just saying.
It's facts.
But let me just break down the numbers from last night. AEW drew 1.273 million above last week's 1.175. So, but it was below their 1.319 from 2 weeks ago. Raw edges Dynamite in the 18-49 demo. Raw was 0.49 and Dynamite was 0.48. So they were right next to each other. AEW edged Raw in the 18-49 male demo, which was 0.67 to 0.65. And Raw edge AEW 18-34 male demo of 0.40 to 0.38. It was a whole close battle. The only thing that WWE ran away with, which is really weird, but women 18-34 are really watching Raw. They love Raw. And the same thing with NXT. Women, like the gap for women for Raw, NXT, and SmackDown is super huge.
Wow.
And it makes me wonder, is it because of all the women wrestling that is actually shown for both of them? Which I'm gonna guess that's probably the case. And if I'm AEW, you might need to try to rectify that.
Yeah, I would imagine that has a lot to do with it. So
Alex A says happening isn't Raw is worried. I don't think so. Because they're still beating them. They were 1.6 million to NXT, not NXT, AEW.
I wouldn't say that they're worried. I'd say that they're alerted now. I think that they understand that AEW is competition. They can say whatever they want to, but now the numbers are too close for them to say that they aren't competition. Once you get within that, million viewer, 500,000 viewer range, it becomes a real discussion. And AEW never has to catch them. They just have to keep putting the pressure on them so that they have to keep stepping their game up. Because if WWE falls, if they keep putting on shows like they were putting on Raw for 3, 4, 5 straight months, then it was going to be bad. You see why they went so hard this past Monday. That main event was amazing.
And they were 500,000 plus over AEW this week, and then the week before was 1.6.
Right. So they'll be all right as long as they do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, they'll shake in their boots once AEW hits 1.4 towards 1.5, and then that's when Raw is consistently, because a one night thing is not going to scare WWE. They actually
30 years in the game. Yeah,
a 1 year of Nitro killing WWE did nothing to him because then
literally beating them. 1 year. I thought it was longer than 1 year. Wasn't it like 80 weeks, 80-some weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like it was like a year and a half. Yeah, that was
year and a half, and then after that it was over, and it just never came back.
Yeah,
and those numbers were a lot crazier than
Shout out
what
to
we're
Mick
talking
Foley.
about now. But it's going to be quite interesting because of what the news is about AEW, which we will be talking about later, especially when it comes to Dynamite, because Dynamite's going to have big moves, and it's also another reason why everybody's sources are talking about for AEW, they're very adamant of trying to get Bray Wyatt, because they see that their numbers might just stay here, and they got to keep making sure that they keep going up, because if they don't, then WWE is not going to have.
I mean, you see what the additions already have done for the company. They went from 600, 700, 800, 900,000, sometimes hitting a milli on the big shows, to now, all right, we're consistently at 1 million. Now we're trying to hit 1.5. And you know what I mean? It's like, it's because of the additions. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And speaking of that, let's do those blunt ratings.
It's time for the Blunt Ratings. If this is your first time tuning in, this is how the Blunt Ratings work. We take each show and break them down into 5 categories: matches, promos and backstage segments, storytelling, commentary, and the crowd. For each category, each show can get up to 5 blunts. The average score of those 5 categories stands as the official Blunt Rating. Those are the rules. Now let's get right into tonight's edition of the Blunt Ratings.
We want the smoke.
Talk to him.
We want the smoke. We want the smoke.
Come on, Charlie.
What's going on? Hold on, I'm about to change this real quick. Look at this though. Look at this shit, bro. Look at that shit. That shit fire, right? That shit is fire, right? That's the official Blunt Ratings overlay right there. You know what I mean? I'm told you I'm still tweaking stuff, so give me time. We're gonna get it right. You know what I mean? We're going to get everything right in a second. Let's do these Blunt Ratings for AEW. That shit is fire, though. Look at my designer is a beast, boy. I ain't going to even lie. He's a beast. See the Blunt Ratings on the box right there? You see that show is fire, son. It's crazy. But yeah, go ahead. Physics, what we going to start with? Matches?
Yeah, matches. I mean, the first match of the night that's on the Mac 5. It gets all of it.
Facts.
And that's the thing. It was like, once you had that match, like a lot of big companies outside of NXT, because NXT's whole thing is like, we're gonna try to one up each other for the rest of the night. While other ones, they try to make sure that they lead up to like that grandiose big night, but they started off so hot that once you got to the other matches, it's like you kind of knew like no other match is gonna go 30 minutes, at most maybe 13. And that was, I think the main event was about 15 minutes, and everything else was 8 to 10 minutes. And like I said, MJF versus Brian Pillman Jr., that was okay. I totally forgot about Malachi Black versus Cody Rhodes. That was just too overbooked. But you had really good stuff with the other 3 matches of Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, the AEW Women's Championship match, and the tag team match of Darby Allin and Sting versus FTR. Just off that, I would say overall for the whole night, I'll give it about a 4.
Works for me. It's accurate. We had a couple 3.5s. We had one that was probably a 2.5, and we had a 5, maybe 5.5 blunt. So 4 seems fair. R.I.P. Cody. Yeah, Cody was getting booed so loud last night it was drowning out everything else I was trying to listen. I was like, I could barely hear commentary.
Probably cried in the back about it.
Like, oh yeah, you know he did.
Me? I'm the good guy.
I'm the good guy though. Why y'all booing me? I told you I was never turning heel. I just said it. Like, oh nigga, you gonna turn heel. we gonna make sure of that.
Like we already announced, let's talk about the crowd. They're a 5.
Crowd is a 5.
So already a 5 there. Promos. I mean, there wasn't a lot, which was surprising. But then again, they tried to do this as like a pay-per-view. You had the Jake Hager, Chris Jericho. You had the CM Punk promo. They were all okay. Nothing really to write home about. I say 3.5 as far as those go.
Yeah, I say 3.5 is fair. I would have might have even went as low as a 3 because there was like no Eddie Kingston, no John Moxley. There wasn't really any.
It was go 3. What's
Yeah,
3
I think 3. I think 3 is better. Yeah.
All right,
what's
commentary.
next?
Commentary. It's always ups and downs, and because a lot of times JR, and I always, like I said, I found it weird that they did that whole promo about Rampage during the Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson match. I was like, you could have did it another match, because then like a lot of stuff was going on in the ring, but they weren't talking about it because they had to tell you everything that was going on Rampage. That was just a weird spot. And then of course, Tony Schiavone goes, that was a good one, JR, and it sounds very sarcastic. Like I can't tell if he's actually sincere that it was a good call or if he was being like sarcastic about it.
Their banter is a little weird. It's questionable. Like, are they beefing right now? I can't tell.
So I'm teetering 3.5 as far as the commentary. Like when they were actually commentated on the Kenny Omega Bryan Danielson match, it was great. But around everything else, it was just kind of okay.
Nah, Tony Schiavone commentary during MJF match was amazing. It always is.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It always is. Like Tony Schiavone commentating or talking about MJF is always the highlight of the show for me because I think he really hates him. He really has a disdain for that dude. But they all be piling up on MJF. That's what I think 3.5 is fair for commentary. They did an okay job.
Yep, and then we have storytelling. I mean, it's a 5 storytelling wise as far as everything going on between Kenny Omega and Bryan Danielson. Storytelling in that match, the storytelling in the match of Ruby Soho, not losing clean, so you still build up that they're going to have another match, but that always just reminds me that the AEW women's division is just very weak when it comes to anything that's not going on with the women's championship. So I'm not really, and a lot of tonight was just random matches. There wasn't a lot of storytelling as far as the matches. I feel like, I mean, outside of Kenny and Bryan Danielson, storytelling wise, it was just okay because I mean they're treating this like a pay-per-view, so it makes sense where you just want the best matches that you have. So I kind of give storytelling as far as AEW last night to a 3.
That is fair. That is very, very fair. That's 18.5 total. We got a 3.7.
Yeah.
For last night's Dynamite. Now, I heard people being like, oh, it's one of the greatest Dynamites of all time. And guess what? I agree. It was a really good Dynamite. It was maybe top 10 Dynamite that they've had so far. But that's not how the blunt ratings work. So you heard the rules in the intro. We break it down by categories. If we was just judging one match last night or the overall vibe of the show, 5 blunts. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed last night's show tremendously, but it gets a 3.7 on the blunt ratings based on how we do this. That's why we have the most original ratings review show there is on the internet. So come watch us, Wrestling on Weed, the all new Wrestling on Weed. I hope you guys like all the new graphics and shit. We got more to come. I'm still touching up some stuff. So
good times, man. I'm really excited about this, and I mean we're about to be coming right back up with some news. Some very interesting news, especially with AEW, and then some unfortunate news with some legends of wrestling. So
so we'll be back in 4 minutes and 20 seconds, guys. We're gonna take a quick intermission here. Do not leave the stream. We'll be back in 4:20. See you guys in a second.
We gotta watch the Dark Side of the Ring. Put it on. Yeah, I mean, it's been back. We didn't watch it.
What? Why?
Mikasa Sukasa. You Eddie, right? Yeah. Look like Eddie Guerrero, man. You like to watch wrestling? Yep. Have you ever watched wrestling? On weed? That's the way to see it, man! It's rock!
Woo! To be the man, you gotta beat the man, and I'm saying, woo, right here, I'm the man. Woo!
Tune in to the Blunt Ratings right after tonight's review joint.
Oh, snap, I can't hear anything.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We here, got the homie Physics in here. He's on, I'm on, everybody mics are on. We back,
Here again.
Wild News Joint. Yeah, hope you guys like the way we set this up. We're still working out kinks, obviously, because we're doing everything new, but just seems like one stream is going to work a lot better. We're an hour in. We'll be here for the news for probably like another 20, 30 minutes. So it just makes everything so much better. So hope you guys are enjoying the new format, the new look with the same gang. So let's get right into it. Physics, what's our first story today, man?
The first news story today, since we had to cover it. I know.
Let's
I think
talk
you're going to
about
talk
it.
about it a lot
Let's
more on
talk about it.
Saturday.
Yep.
um,
Let's
but
talk about it.
Dark Side of the Ring, they started their new season with the most ever talked about plane ride from hell. The only difference is it wasn't WWE related. Because WWE did one, but they decided to make a joke out of it.
Oh shit! I just forgot we do have the woo in the fucking.
Yeah,
I forgot we'd have that. I totally just. Thank you for pointing that out. I will change that.
Yeah, I remember. I heard the music and I was like,
I totally forgot that was on there. Oh shit.
But I mean, when it comes to wrestling journalism, Dark Side of the Ring, they don't take sides. They just want people speaking the truth. And one of the things about this episode was the actual people that were on the damn flight were actually talking about what was going on. Usually you might get one person, but they got everybody. They had RVD, Tommy Dreamer, Ric Flair. Not Ric Flair wasn't there, but JR was there. And they all talked about what went on the plane. And it was a plane ride from hell, because if you were a woman, you were definitely in hell. Due to everything that was going on the plane. You either had to worry about
like terrible. I don't know if you were a dude with any type of sensibilities about yourself.
Yeah.
You might have been uncomfortable. Clearly, RVD was uncomfortable.
I don't know how you don't throw somebody off the plane, literally, while they're still in the sky from everything.
Brock Lesnar almost did.
Yeah. But then Brock Lesnar was also harassing Terry Runnels. So it's like it's
right.
a whole mess. Scott Hall being drunk, harassing people. Dustin Rhodes being drunk as well, trying to get back with it. Then of course, I mean, and this is the thing.
I counted about 6 sexual assaults during that story.
Yeah,
I was like, wait a minute.
When it came to the sexual assault part, the thing is, there's been so many stories, even ESPN's 30 for 30 about Ric Flair, about him putting on robes, running around naked, and flashing himself towards women.
WWE made comic strips about it because they're smart.
Yeah, they did that whole cartoon video, and it's like all the women won it. And I was like, are you sure that's how it went? Because
right, is that the real story?
When it comes to wrestlers, they like to live big and talk about how things went, and then they asked somebody else that was there, and they was like, that is not what happened. It was a lot worse, but they were on their whole thing. And then, of course, Tommy Dreamer decided to say, as Fat J stated, Dreamer compared sexual assault to his ponytail. He's like, I have two ponytails. People are not going to like that.
That offends somebody too. Like, wait a minute, bro. Wait a minute. When he said it, though, and as he was saying it, I felt like he was cringing himself. You know what I mean? It almost felt like he could taste how disgusting it tasted in his mouth. Do you believe? I feel like he was just trying to defend Ric Flair. I hope he doesn't believe that, because you can't. I feel like he's just being a getwit. It felt more to me like he was embarrassing himself. Like you don't really believe that, do you? You're defending him because you're defending your friend to the point. That's like your friend killing somebody. You'd be like, I don't believe he did it. You saw him do it, but he's still a great guy. Yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you say that in public? It was so cringe and uncomfortable. Even the music they were playing when he was talking just made it more uncomfortable. It was just it was an uncomfortable show to watch.
Alex says it's too sensitive and too much now. I don't know. There's no sensitivity when it comes to sexual assault. That's just wrong is wrong, and that's just what it is. And
I mean those things were wrong. The descriptions of everything that happened, and the wrestlers verified most of the shit themselves. Like, you're spinning your penis around, there's women that you aren't married to or aren't having sex with on the plane. It's wrong. Like, end of story. You know what I mean? I don't care if you pushed up on her and tried to get her to touch it or not. You're wrong before that. You know what I mean? And all the other shit was wrong. Like, I don't know.
No, I was like, Alex, I wasn't saying that the video. I was saying the whole helicopter thing that Ric Flair does was a thing he's done throughout his whole history. People have talked about that for years. There's a
Ric Flair's got a hammer on him. Why are you talking about another man's penis like that? You weird. Like, that was weird.
There's
as
a
hell.
thing of Shane Douglas.
Weird.
When Shane Douglas was like, I used to look up to Ric Flair until I started working with him, and he was running around naked and flashing himself, and there'd be kids around, and he'd be like, you're a person of. Yeah. he's on when he's on kayfabe news or kayfabe commentary, the KC videos, he talks about that, and that's when he lost all respect for Ric Flair, because he was like, he just doesn't care. He doesn't care people being like, no, don't do this, and he's Ric Flair. He does what he wants to do, and he doesn't care who's there. And everybody's like, oh, boys would be boys, but it's like, no, sometimes you just gotta whoop somebody's ass doing stuff like that.
Wait a minute. He would flash with children?
I don't think he cared. I think because he would just run around in the back, and of course there'd be kids in the back as well. It's not like everybody back there. Yeah. And of course he just wooing around everywhere. So that man just doesn't care. And I think one of the most damning things is, which kind of also makes me like, it puts RVD in a place where it's like you kind of have to say like what you know. Where he said it was a normal thing for wrestlers to drug women and then rape them. And like, I was like,
to RVD's point, he said that they edited the shit up to make it sound like he said that he saw Ric Flair doing something, and he came out later and said, no, they edited it to make it sound like I said that. I didn't really say that, but he's still gross.
Yeah.
That's basically what RVD said. He's like, yeah, he's still fucking gross. So this is wrestling, Alex. This is unfortunately.
Yeah. And I was like, this is why, what was it, a year and a half ago, all of the transgressions of things coming out, and it was like, it makes sense. I was like, when you have a bunch of cats that think they're untouchable, because even JR said it. JR literally sat there, and a producer asked him, there was like, why didn't anything happen? Because obviously you try to pay this woman off. You did do an NDA, so she didn't say anything. It's the old common sweep it under the rug WWE Vince McMahon thing, because he's done it with murder. So, this ain't nothing new to him.
Nothing but facts,
Jimmy
bro.
Fly Snuka about that. So, like, why didn't he was like, JR basically said he was a made man. They couldn't touch him. Ric Flair was just too big for them to do anything to him, so they just allowed it to slide. But I was like, and I was like, this is why when anytime it was ever brought up, nobody wanted to talk about it. It was all hearsay for years until more wrestlers that got further away from the business decided to talk about it. I think Justin Credible was like the first person to mention anything about actually what happened on the plane, but it took years because everybody knew what happened on that plane was a lot worse than Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle fighting on a plane. It was a lot worse than that. And that's why everybody was keeping their mouth shut, and probably because they had to sign contracts and stuff. So really,
I'm sure there was some NDAs and a bunch of things going on. She already said she took money, you know what I mean? Hush money and all that stuff. It's like, it is what it is, you know what I mean? She took the advice of her husband. She said, whatever.
Because you're going against a corporation.
It's like you're not going to win. They beat people. They gotten people off for murder. So you're not about to win. So I could understand at the end of the day her being like, well, at least get some money out of the shit, because it is what it is. It's just fucked up that that's the route that she had to take after going through something that everybody knew happened. It was like it was been confirmed multiple times.
This is the only funny thing out of this. Remember the whole Undertaker talking shit about today's wrestlers doing nothing but playing video games? And I was like, well, guess what? It's a lot better now. They're not on drugs. They're
way better now.
Not holding guns, and they're not sexually assaulting a bunch of women.
But John Cena came out and said that. Yeah, he came out and fended for the new wrestlers. Like, yeah, they're a lot better because he was part of that change. Like John Cena was part of that change, initiating that culture change.
Remember, Xavier Woods came at him like, "Yeah, I'm good with my video games.
Yeah,
keeps me out of trouble.
Facts. You see all that shit behind me? It keeps me in the house. I ain't got to be out in the streets."
He was like, the only trouble I got into was consensual, and y'all just decided to hack the person's phone and get all that stuff. But other than that, that was none of y'all business to begin with. So, but it's wild. A mess. And
shout out to
if you haven't seen it,
running that car show commercial on Monday Night Raw.
Oh, they did?
Jackasses. I was like, wait a minute, why is this on my TV right now? I was like, wait a minute. They canceled everything except for his car show commercial. Good job.
That might be a USA thing because WWE don't run the actual commercials, and
I thought
USA
the
should have been
company
like, we
canceled
can't
the
take
ads though.
Yeah, but if USA was like, we're gonna take that money, they're gonna take that money.
Right,
and
right. Facts,
That's on,
facts.
that's on NBC
That's all they
at
care
that
about. The
point. So
corporations, man. You're right. Yeah, half of them probably got cases.
they're like, until
pending.
you get a new commercial, we'll just keep running this. Unfortunately,
Ugh, it's gross.
but if you haven't seen it, they put that episode live for YouTube for free. So for everybody that hasn't seen it, they can watch it now for free. On
Great episode.
YouTube.
Those guys are amazing at doing those episodes, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the deep dives they do and the information they get. I mean, the editing is a little, I mean, it's always a little suspect. Like, I don't like to hear that people's interviews were chopped up to make it sound like they said some shit they ain't say. That to me is always a little shady. But they're very well produced programs. Definitely go watch this episode if you can stomach it, if it doesn't trigger you, because I can understand some people being triggered by this shit. What else we got?
What else we got is AEW has officially set a date for when Dynamite will move from TNT to TBS. Earlier this year, it was announced that Dynamite and Rampage will be moving from TNT to TBS in early 2022. It was noted that while AEW's flagship show will be moving to TBS, TNT will still be getting 4 Supercard specials per year. In an update, Variety now reports that Dynamite will begin airing on TBS on Wednesday, January 5th. Dynamite will continue to air in the 8 p.m. Eastern time slot. The new report from Variety says Rampage will remain on TNT instead of moving to TBS as originally planned. There's no words on if Rampage will move to TBS at a later date, but it was implied that Rampage move has been nixed altogether, which is very interesting, and it makes me wonder a few things. One of the things that makes me wonder is moving to TBS. Do they feel like it's going to not possibly do the same numbers they're going to do because they also are going to have the NHL on TNT? So now like Dynamite's going to actually have some sports to go against,
and
which they weren't going to have.
Network.
Yeah. And this is the thing, that NHL deal was way bigger than AEW, and the NHL comes first.
But it might
and
take
all the
some
other
network
sports are gonna
pressure
come
off of
first.
AEW. You know what I mean? I don't even know if they have that type of network pressure. Yeah, so it might take the pressure off from a million viewers is great on TBS on a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome.
The only issue would be them moving and then they're not getting those numbers. But it's interesting the fact that Rampage was originally, when they first brought up Rampage, they said we're going to have it on TNT, then it's going to TBS. That was the first time we ever heard about any of Dynamite or AEW going to TBS. Now they're like, no. And it makes me wonder, is Rampage now the A show and Dynamite's now the B show? Because I feel like this Friday is their big test to see if they can do 2-hour shows.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the test. If it goes,
I don't think they could do it. You can't have your A show be at 10 p.m. on a Friday night. I don't think it's gonna work. That can't work.
But the number,
especially during the
having
summer.
having those type of numbers on a Friday is huge. And
consistency
their
is
numbers,
important, though.
Yeah, they're not as big as those numbers are on Friday. Like, even though they're not hitting a million, them having those numbers at that time slot is way better than, it's way more impressive than the numbers that a primetime wrestling show at 8 p.m. on a Wednesday is doing.
It feels like they're tying SmackDown. If SmackDown's doing 2 million and they're doing 1 million, it feels like almost the same because SmackDown is available at a time before people want to enjoy their Friday nights usually, and Rampage,
which is crazy because this news comes out and the last Rampage was like 600,000. Like, it wasn't crazy, but now if you're gonna have CM Punk really being the Rampage person, which what it looks like now, and you're gonna have these big matches always on Rampage, then I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. I wouldn't be surprised if
watch it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they say from now on this is going to technically somewhat be the A show. And also Rampage for some reason seems a lot bigger than, like, I don't know, like the production just seems brighter and like they're doing a lot more when it comes to Rampage than they are with Dynamite. But it just feels that way somehow.
I feel like we've only seen it one way. You know what I mean? And it's just they started off big with Rampage. There was no building up or no. It was just started off big. It didn't start off like Dynamite. Where it had slightly humble beginnings. It started off basically as Dynamite number 2. Which automatically put it on this even playing field, especially with them sharing rosters. So it could very well be the A show. I mean, if CM Punk is on it, it's the A show for me. So it is what it is.
Like, he just shows up to talk. He's actually going to wrestle on Rampage. Exactly. And he premiered on Rampage. So it's the CM Punk show, like SmackDown was the Rock show.
Facts. Exactly. That's how they should do it. That's how they should rock it too. It's exactly what they should do. What else we got?
For our next news story, staying with AEW, we have the TBS belt. On the latest episode of Speak Now Pro Wrestling with Denise Salcedo, Madman's Andrew Zarian said there will be a secondary women's championship on AEW, and it will be a TBS championship belt. This is going to be quite interesting due to the fact that when it comes to their women division, they don't really do much with them, which now means that maybe it is the A show, because that means Britt Baker is going to have to stay on TNT unless you're going to have them mingling across each other. But you would have to have one woman with a belt, because they seem to only be able to do one women's storyline at a time. So you have Britt Baker on TNT at Rampage, and then you have the TBS belt, which would probably be the only time that
You said it again. Say it again.
Say what?
What's it called?
What, the TBS belt?
Yo, for this company to be so creative.
They don't try.
What?
They could have called it just a TV belt. What if they leave? Then you got to change everything to whatever the new channel is, the Access belt.
That's why they have to have a TBS belt in the first place, because they got a TNT title when they moving networks. So they got to have a TBS title, or they got to change the TNT title to the TBS title, or it ain't going to make no fucking sense. It's such a dumb name for a championship. I can't even.
It is.
What does it stand for? The Turner Broadcast Systems? Is that
exactly
what the Turner Broadcast Systems Championship, my nigga? Are you serious right now? That's horrible. TNT was bad enough, but at least that could be a synonym for explosions or dynamite. TBS sounds like a disease. Make it the TV title and make them have to defend it once a month on TV or on Rampage or Dynamite, wherever it's going to do anything. This is terrible. That's a terrible idea. Please, somebody start a campaign to stop that. That is a terrible idea.
But that's what is happening.
They need the belt, though. That's where I don't know if I agree with you totally. I don't know if you even said that you don't want the belt, but
no,
I think they need the belt. That'll help the division, I think, because they don't have nothing to do with them. Everybody can't fight for one title.
Yeah, but that's the unfortunate thing. Is like everybody else be fighting and don't have titles, but when it comes to the women, it's like, well, we'll just throw them on AEW Dark, and then we don't know what to do with them if they're not doing anything with the belts. So I guess if they have 2 belts, they can figure it out from there, because they're like gold, and we know how to figure that out. And like I was about to say, this be the only time where somebody black and also a woman can get a belt at the same time. So, I mean, it's probably the Jade Cargill belt or Swole belt.
Opens up more opportunities. Definitely. Jade needs to be holding the women's title. Yeah. Jade needs to be holding the women's. It's not believable for her not to be holding the championship. The main.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's Swole versus Jade Cargill for the TBS belt.
That would be awesome.
If I had to guess, January 5th is when they're going to crown somebody. They're going to do a little tournament all the way to there. So the premiere of AEW on TBS, that'd probably be the main event.
Man, I'd rather them call it the Divas title. I can't TBS. That's terrible. It's horrible. That's total bullshit. That's what it stands for. That's the total bullshit title. That's
the IWC Intercontinental Women's Championship. I'll be okay with that.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. The Women's Intercontinental Championship. The Women's U.S. title. There's a New Japan U.S. title. Why can't there's a men's U.S. title? Why can't there be a women's U.S. title? it's all right there. There's different things. It makes no sense.
No, just TBS.
I don't know. You can't do cruiserweight for women. That'd be stupid, obviously. But yeah, there's
TBS.
other options. Yeah, TBS. That's so bad. All right, what else we got?
Moving over to the end of Japan. WWE Japan is Owari, and that means done in Japanese. In the latest sign, WWE moving on from Triple H's Global Territories plan. The company's Japanese website is being shut down on Friday, September 24th. This comes a couple of weeks after Japanese website GameBiz reported that WWE was dissolving their Japan division. They would continue to serve content via the WWE Japan accounts on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It was noted that the contact point for WWE inquiries in Japanese and Japan will also cease, so they won't be looking for wrestlers over there as well. So it seems like everything that Triple H was building, that is now done.
Poor guy. That's all I could think about.
Well, but I mean, at the end of the day, they should have never really went to Japan. Japan is already full enough.
Facts.
And you know me, my whole thing is because they did talk about Daniel Bryan at the time going over there. Why not just keep the talks going? And I mean, like I said, I would love if the G1 ended and then out of nowhere Finn Balor's there. Like the same way that when the lights went off and then Chris Jericho was in the ring.
Or
like
AJ
you have a
Styles.
ton of people. Or Shinsuke Nakamura, or Cesaro, like being able to go, hey, we have nothing to do with you here. So why'd you just go to Japan for a hot minute? And you could do anything you want to do.
Even
and
if it was somebody small, like Chad Gable or somebody, just pop up. Like, yo, send Chad Gable over there. That shit would be amazing, bro. Like, amazing. Damn. But WWE.
Alex says New Japan Pro Wrestling doesn't need it. No, they don't need it, but they do love them. They don't need it, but they do love them some Finn Balor, and they do love them some Shinsuke Nakamura, and they know the type of stuff. Yeah, they know exactly the type of stuff that would happen if they brought him over there.
Facts.
Which is why they were okay with giving Bryan Danielson the okay to go over there to begin with.
Yeah, that would impact New Japan over here stateside too. Like as far as I mean, they're already doing well by collaborating with AEW so much, but imagine that times 10. You know, if WWE collab with New Japan, you know, just because of the exposure.
And you do it the other way, because a lot of what New Japan Pro Wrestling is doing is all over here. Right. There's not a lot of everybody else going over there.
The joint in Cali, right? Yeah, they got a joint in Cali
So if you just send your wrestlers to Japan and tell them to be over there, then it's more beneficial for New Japan. Because
Indeed.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be if I was running the reins like everybody thinks I work for WWE, I would go for it.
Indeed.
But let's move to the next thing. That is the NXT ratings. According to Show Buzz Daily, the September 21st episode was watched by an audience of 746,000.
Damn.
This is a drop from the premiere of NXT 2.0, which was 770,000.
Okay.
The show's .20 rating among 18 to 49-year-olds was also only a slight drop off from the week before.
It's not bad.
So it's not. They've been doing better than they have in the last few months.
People like big guys, apparently.
Yeah, I mean,
the look of the show is better too. They opened it up.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's in somebody's grandma's garage. Like it's a better produced show.
It's not so dark anymore.
Yeah, it's not dark and gloomy and shit. Look like a grunge concert and shit. Like it looks like a wrestling show. So,
and I mean, let's not lie. There's some super interesting people doing.
There is. I like Braun Breaker, man. I hate his name, but the guy is good.
They should have kept the Rex Steiner name. That was such
obviously
a great name.
It's a great name, and it's.
I'm hoping at some point, like he goes, "That's not. I'm going back to my name."
Yeah, like they got to do that. Braun Breaker. After you just fire a Braun, like you give it this jinxed ass name.
Yeah. And then homegirl that did the Superman punch. I was like, Roman Reigns would be proud of that punch because
it's nice one. Well done.
Look, that was nice and snug. Had Kushida all over the ground. I was like, I like that. I like that. They're doing super interesting stuff, and I mean, unlike AEW, I mean, most of just WWE stuff, there's a lot of people of color there that you can watch as well.
Very true. Very true. If you're into that kind of thing, like myself in physics, you like seeing people wrestle that look like you. You know what I mean? And,
a lot of people of color champions everywhere.
That is a benefit of watching WWE. I will definitely give them that. There was I felt like it was all black champion or people of color as champions at one point. You know what I mean? It's like,
they did it twice, where it was like that was like the thing. Like they did it at one time near February.
That's right, because they all took a picture together. I remember. Yeah, that's
everybody
right.
lost their belts, and then they kind of redid it again. And I think that was just on accident. It was just like these are the hottest people now, so here we go.
Facts. I love that it went from one black champion to another black champion. That just shows. Yeah,
same thing with the women's championship at WrestleMania.
Same thing. Facts. That's awesome.
So,
you know what I mean? So
can't
dope.
get mad at that. So let's do some quick hits. According to the latest report, AEW's upcoming pay-per-view event, Full Gear 2021, will take place at the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Fightful Select reported that the Target Center's sources confirmed to them that the show would be held at the venue. There were words going around that Full Gear will be held in Minneapolis. Now it seems like they were true. So now we know where Full Gear is going to be.
One of the biggest wrestling cities in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure Bryan Danielson versus Omega 2 is happening there. After being attacked by Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax will be out of action for a disclosed amount of time.
Yes.
The injury being reported is a elbow posterior fracture and a dislocation of her left elbow. So she gets to go away for a while, and hopefully this allows Shayna to just be a badass and go back to what she was during her NXT time.
Yes.
In an interview, Daniel Bryan said he told Kevin the Teeth Dunn he wouldn't use the yes chant in AEW.
It's unfortunate. Apparently, they don't want him to use it, and it's banned.
But he gave it up. He said he was cool with it, so he gave him the word.
I think he wants to move on from it anyway. I think that's not the character he's going for. You see him dropping F-bombs and shit. I don't think he's going for the squeaky baby face, the kids love me character. He's going back to the American Dragon. I'm gonna twist your fucking neck off. Like that's the one we love. So he's going back to that. That's not the yes chant, Daniel Bryan. That guy had his time.
It's super interesting looking at the two sides of like Bryan Danielson and CM Punk when they talk about WWE. Even you throw Adam Cole in there, because those two are like, we had a great time. We made a bunch of money. Had some great wrestling matches. I have nothing but love for them. I just had to go do something new. And then CM Punk is just like, F them. I don't care about that.
I mean, it's not just CM Punk. I think Moxley's in the CM Punk basket. I think he would be.
Yeah, no, he is as well. But he stopped. Moxley stopped talking about him a long time ago. It just seems like anytime
CM Punk's been talking about
Punk
for
is
7 years.
near Mike, he's like, let me tell you about WWE.
I hate those guys.
Like, all right. I was like, all right, we got it.
I hate wrestling because of those guys. They kill my love for wrestling.
Talk about your new girlfriend. Stop talking about
They took my smile.
That's basically, he is at Shawn Michaels territory at this moment.
Exactly.
Hopefully he doesn't end up like Shawn Michaels and ends back up at WWE and has his best years. And we're like, what was all that for? That was a lot.
Right. How long has it been since CM Punk debuted? A month now?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. I finally got my T-shirt. You know what I mean? Ordered it the day after he debuted. Finally got it like 2 days ago. Appreciate you guys. You know what I mean? Good job. Oh, man. Guess it's hard to print 150,000 T-shirts.
Hey, man, Pro Wrestling Tees is a very small shop, so
yeah, no, they killing it. I already knew it was. Yeah, they killing it. That's a lot of work. Trust me, as someone who produces T-shirts, I know that's a lot of work. I ain't never sold 150,000, and I've been overworked by trying to sell 200 T-shirts. So I know the drill. What else we got?
Alex says, "Where's the ice cream bar?" I was like, "That's too much supply and demand right there."
Yeah. I'm not that much of a consumer.
No. That's gonna take like a year for them to get the amount of orders that are probably gonna happen if they decide to put that out. But PW Insider says Fox will air a King of the Ring special the weekend of October 1st and will act as the preview for the return of King of the Ring tournament.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I mean, they're doing it. It's all going down. The crowning's going down in Saudi Arabia, so they've already kind of mentioned that's exactly what's going to happen.
They mentioned it before.
It's happening. Fightful Select says Vince McMahon sent ideas to NXT for its future, and those included potentially using stronger language and changing the gear women's wrestlers wear, though it's unclear what that means, and I don't even know what that means. They already wear less now. I mean, Mandy Rose can't wear any less. So I don't know what he's talking about there, but stronger language, I'm all for it.
Why does that matter? It's pro wrestling. I don't understand.
Yeah. It's Vince McMahon.
So we going back to this old creepy motherfucker needs to get away. I don't know. It's like the bitch don't want to wrestle with no clothes on. Let her put clothes on. I don't know. You got girls that want to wrestle with no clothes on. I mean, but then you got let them wrestle how they want to wrestle and whatever they want to wrestle in. Like it's so weird. It's creepy. Like it's especially knowing that the company is ran by old 70-year-old men. It's really creepy. You know what I mean? It's like this is what
just
we want to see.
People to wear, like have different styles. It's like what Eva wears, nobody else really can wear. Like I'm call her Piper Niven because I'm not gonna call her Dewdrop. What she wants to wear, what she want, like everybody have different styles. It makes it more interesting.
That's what makes wrestling cool.
Yeah. If everybody has the same type of ring gear, nobody wants to watch that.
Exactly.
Following up on the Absorber says Sami Callihan broke his ankle. PW Insider says he also broke his tibia and fibula, and he'll be out until mid-2022 at the earliest.
How did he do that?
I have no idea, but I mean, mid-2022. As old as Callihan is, and you know it takes a lot longer the older you get. I feel like that's wishful thinking.
Yeah, that's definitely wishful thinking. He got a year. He'll be back in a year. It's better than ACL or Achilles or anything. Breaking bones is definitely better than tearing ligaments. So, you know, maybe he will be. We'll see.
Grand Metalik has requested his release from WWE per Mas Lucha. That was only a matter of time. And our last one, TLC is scheduled for Sunday, December 19th, says PW Insider. A host city and venue haven't been confirmed yet, which is really weird. Like they already have these dates. Like even AEW has dates and they don't have any venue yet. And I'm like, that seems to be backwards. But then it allows you to change it if you need to. So that makes sense. But yeah, that's it as far as our news stories today. Nothing crazy has happened the whole time we've been on, so I'm grateful for that.
Nothing crazy good. Just that dark side of the ring nonsense that kind of took over the wrestling world for the last week or two. It's an unfortunate situation. My personal opinion, not that it matters, but I think that if it's something that egregious, which it seemed to have been, even if it didn't get as bad as some people claim, it was still bad. I think that people need to hold themselves accountable and stop acting like things didn't happen, first of all. You know what I mean? It's like, it's going to be hard if the person that's being blamed is still like, that's not what happened. I just, I did do it, but I ain't do it. I was like, my nigga, like what you did was great. He kind of did say, I had a drinking problem, all these different things. You know what I mean? So just apologize and say you're sorry and say I messed up. You know what I mean? It was what it was. You know what I mean? The possibility you were clearly wasted. Possibility anything could have happened. You might not even remember half the shit that happened. So just apologize like a real man and move the fuck on, man. So, you and your family and the people, the victims, or, people involved and their families can try to move on. But it's just a mess when people don't have accountability physics, and that's the biggest thing that annoys me. You make a mistake, admit that you made a mistake. People won't hate you forever, but they will hate you forever if you deny. You know what I mean? So,
and then it comes out that is true.
That is true. It's just you look horrible. You know what I mean? So especially after they made cartoons about the shit, it just looks kind of gross at this point. So that's what took over the wrestling week. So.
And tonight is the double life of Chris Canyon, so that's going to be tonight.
Yes, Dark Side of the Ring. That should be a good episode. Looking forward to seeing that. We'll be right back, guys, on Saturday for the it's not the super review. It's the king size review because that's all I smoke is king size raw papers, baby. King size raw papers. So we'll be back. Me and Two-Face will be here on Saturday for the king size review joint, SmackDown and Rampage at the same damn time. And then right after that, obviously, we'll be doing the WoW News joint as always, same format as today. But right after that, we got predictions. The champion, the current champion, Super High Travis Sly, who you saw here earlier, will put his title on the line against the 4 of his compadres, Physics, myself, Jay, and Two-Face the Wild Boy, and we will all try to take him down and reclaim the WoW Nation Pick'em Championship. So we'll be doing that. It'll be a long stream on Saturday, so join us 2 o'clock on Saturday, guys. Appreciate you as always for tuning in. Couple little glitches, but the show went kind of smooth today. I'm still adding overlays and getting alerts and different things like that set up, but it's our first day back. Got a lot of shit to set up. I hope you guys like the new look and everything. Same crew. So you live near each other. Me and Physics live. We're like an hour apart. You like an hour away from me. We in the DMV. Yeah, we all in the same scene. Two-Face isn't, he's 3 or 4 hours away. Super High's in New York, so that's why his little signal be, because he out there in the boonies in New York. So he be, so his signal be a little bit off sometime, but it's all right. We gonna get him straight this coming week. But appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you like the new format. You don't have to tune in tonight because we one stream a day, baby. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. On Mondays, if there's a pay-per-view, obviously we'll be here on Monday, this coming Monday, because Extreme Rules is happening this weekend. So on Mondays after a pay-per-view, we'll be doing a pay-per-view review joint and blunt ratings as well. We'll also do news just for the fallout of the pay-per-view, whatever else. So if there's a pay-per-view, we'll be doing a Monday stream like this coming Monday, but going forward, if there's no Monday stream, just Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday with the gang. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4:20, Saturdays at 2 p.m. We'll see you guys on the next one. Physics, I appreciate you, man. Welcome back. It's good to see you.
Appreciate you and happy birthday, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. Yes, today is my birthday. I'm going to go get a bottle and buy myself a laptop. I appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, we'll see you right back here on Thursday. Wrestling on Weed, baby. It's good to be back, man. I missed you guys. Peace.